Okay, so we're doing this kind of a talk where I speak while watching Tony, and then we swap around, and Tony speaks while watching me because we don't have a mic yet, and this gives us better volume. Currently, we are extremely frustrated with our internet provider, Herotel Internet. We've been off for nearly 30 hours now, and the communication regarding this is atrocious. They give us very little information. Yeah, before I get any further, please subscribe, please like, share, comment, and all of that. I'm going to switch over to Tony now. We're going to swap a couple of times so we can each say what we want to say. Okay, you come here, Tony.
Yeah, well, having been doing most of the communications with Herotel yesterday, first of all, I want to say their sales, and billing teams are spot on. They are totally 100%. They keep you updated every step of the way. There is no guessing as to what's happening in the background. However, as soon as you've subscribed and become part of the Herotel family, then things start falling apart a bit, and it's almost like, having a child who grows up into teenagehood, and there's that communication problem.
These are quite quick swaps, and I'm going to get confused. Okay, for example, in the WhatsApp contacting method of getting hold of service line, thank you. You have to hold, and basically it just keeps saying every 5 minutes on the dot, every 5 minutes you get a message from Herotel in the WhatsApp group thing, messaging, that says please continue to hold for an agent, or press naught to end this call. Well, there isn't really like a naught to press, it doesn't make any sense. And when you press naught, they just keep coming with the naught on your keyboard. It just keeps coming. But the problem there with that communication is you give the ticket number, you say you've been holding for an hour and a half, and they just keep saying wait. What happened last night was really upsetting. I'll tell you, I held on for like an hour unnecessarily before I found out I didn't have to hold on that extra hour over and above my first hour and a bit. I'll tell you about that after Tony's next turn.
So what you're not sure of right now is, okay, we woke up yesterday morning, switched the okay, let's go back 6 hours before that. We went to bed at about 1:30 yesterday morning. We were up at 6:30. I switched the internet on, and the internet that we had at 1:30 had been stolen between then and 6:30.
It was gone.
Well, yeah, okay, it was gone. Gone being not with us anymore. If it's not with us, it's been stolen because we didn't give anybody permission to take it. We had to go out yesterday morning. We went out, we came back, and I immediately telephoned Herotel. That call was 28 minutes, of which probably 6 or 7 were actually with an operator. And I'll tell you more about that in a moment.
Okay, so coming back to the WhatsApp thing, see, I like to do more of the WhatsApp. Tony does more of the calls and talking thing. I do the WhatsApp texting. That's just how we work together as a team.
Works for me.
So at about 3 minutes to 10 p.m. last night, all I got was a continue holding for an agent, or press naught to hang up. And I continued getting those messages for every 5 minutes. An hour later, at like 10 to 11. It was almost an hour later, like 10 to 11. And one of the messages that comes up there says, basically, our technical staff at night, help desk agents, don't work after 10 p.m. But for the past hour, they've been giving me every 5 minutes, hold on for a help desk agent, or hang up, hold on for an. And I mean, it's been like an hour, and I didn't know that an hour earlier that that they wouldn't have helped me anyway. So that was a bit terribly frustrating. The communication via that app or whatever it is not up to standard. People are hanging on for nothing.
Right, so I made my first call to Herotel. I held for, well, as indicated earlier, probably about 15, 16 minutes before I actually got hold of somebody. When I got through to the operator, one of the first things I did is warn them that my airtime was low and that it would probably run out. At which point the operator told me, not a problem, if that does happen, she will call me back. I said, cool. I explained the problem, she started investigating it, and round about the time the call cut off, I heard something about AP. Then the call disappeared. I was extremely annoyed. Anyway, I waited about an hour and a half for the call back. There was no call back. Our one neighbor, who is also with Herotel, called me, said to me he's got 3 minutes on his phone. I'm welcome to come over to his place and call Herotel from there. He had already reported his problem and had a ticket number. I did not have a ticket number. So I went round to Fadi and I called him from there. A bit of a run around there, spoke to several agents. Eventually I got hold of a particular agent. That call was almost an hour. Fortunately, when the operator suggested transferring me to another agent, I insisted that she either keep me on the line or that she call back. She promised to call back. I reluctantly agreed, and I actually did get the call back before speaking to the last person that I spoke to yesterday afternoon. Yeah, anyway, on that note, back to Terry.
Okay, so while Tony was at Ferdy sorting out, you know, our internet problem, our internet downtime, non-existing internet, our disruption in our lives, and I'm assuming the lives of many people, I needed to use the time to do something. I mean, we'd already been out to the clinic in the morning, and we're going to the clinic again tomorrow. We went to Frere Hospital and clinic twice last week, so I needed to use the time. So, I mean, the computer still worked, the laptop still worked, so I spent the time while Tony was out at Ferdy sorting out the internet, taking the volume off 3 or 4 videos, which I would love to upload, but of course we have no internet.
Yes, well, the last person I spoke to yesterday spent some time with me. She did some line checks and whatever it is they do in these call centers. I've got no idea. It sounded like she was on a space station with all the noises going on behind her. Long story short, she came back and told me that she'd been able to access the tower on AP1, which is an access point 1, and she'd been able to get into access point 2, no, not 2, 3, access point 3. However, accessing AP2, access point 2, was a problem, and that they would, provide us with feedback on that. I thought, okay, that's reasonable. They know where the problem is. Now that they know where the problem is, they can sort it out. So at that point I agreed, okay, right, we made some progress, so let's just take that and run with it. Well, not run with it, wait for the internet to come back. And that was yesterday afternoon, late-ish. It is now late morning today, and we still don't got no frickin' internet. That wasn't swearing. I changed my mind at the last time to a non-swear.
A more family-friendly,
A more family-friendly expression.
Unhappy word.
And unhappy word.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Unhappy
Yeah. Okay. One of my biggest frustrations regarding this whole thing is the lack of communication. I've been putting there in the WhatsApp messaging, please give us a progress update on this ticket number, because we do have a ticket number now. All we want to know is what's happening. What's happening? What are you doing about the issue? Do we have hope that it might come on in the next hour or two? Or, do we need to make a temporary alternative, what is the word? Arrangement, some other arrangement, a temporary, some other arrangement to use some other internet provider for a while until Herotel gets their issues sorted out, because we don't want to. We actually don't have money. We don't want to spend money on an alternative. We want Herotel to let us know, okay, you're only going to be waiting about an hour or two, or we've sent a driver to another town to fetch parts, so please expect to wait for a day or two, or
the parts need to be shipped
or so that we can know, or they just need to tell us what they're doing. Maybe they've sent the staff for a 2-day training course to deal with this issue, because it's just something undealable with that they haven't been able to work on before. So now they need to be trained on how to work with this thing because it's something new. Whatever, we just want to know the progress so that we know what to do. And that said, I mean, the lines are busy right now. We're having lots of calls and lots of, if they made one message about this is the progress, this is what's happening, it would probably half all, because a lot of people are feeling frustrated and want to know what's going on. How long should they be prepared to wait for? If they know that, they won't be messaging all the time. They won't be calling all the time, because they have an idea of when to expect the internet back, which would then free up more time for Herotel to work on the problem. Just let us know what's going on. Give us an idea of how long it's going to take. Tell us if you're waiting for a part you have to fetch in another town, and then how long you expect it to take until it's sorted. Just communicate with us the progress. Let us know what's going on, and everyone will be feeling a lot less frustrated, including Herotel, because they will be getting less calls and less messages.
Yeah, on that note, I do understand that Herotel are a large national company. I do understand that they have to have systems in place. However, what Herotel needs to understand is that every employee there, I've no idea how many employees they have, but to some extent, my monthly subscription pays their salaries, which means they need to listen to me. And I'm not happy. So Herotel, reach out and find out why I'm not happy. Well, apart from all this, because one of the systems, like for instance on the WhatsApp support line, that's a national support line, which means there is one group of people dealing with a national problem. Why don't they split it up into regions? For instance, if they've got somebody who's looking after the Eastern Cape region, they will know when somebody phones from the when somebody contacts them from the Eastern Cape region, they will know Cambridge Tower, AP2, giving problems. They could even send out um, a message to that effect. Clients who are being serviced from Cambridge Tower, we are aware there's a problem. This is the situation. We need parts. We have sent for parts. Parts are coming. Our staff are in training. Our staff don't know what to do. We're busy Googling the problem. Yeah, just try to be more proactive. Keep people updated. And just as much as you want my debit order to go through every month, I want access to information on the service that I'm paying for. Because at the end of the day, and we use the internet to generate part of our income. So this is now going on for 2 days that we haven't been able to do that. Fairly, for instance, also uses the internet to generate income. They've had to go out this morning to access the internet in order to send off the invoices. No invoices sent, no money in. No money in, no business. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I even said to our neighbours, I wonder if Herotel is going to be paying for their petrol to go out. We run a farm. It's not like, we live right next door to neighbours, well, daughters and relatives and things that they're mostly all in town. Who's going to pay for their petrol because of this issue? And I mean, okay, our internet costs 600 rand a month. That's about
$50, I think.
about $30. So basically $1 a day, 20 rand a day. So if we go 2 days without internet, do we get a 20 rand a day refund?
No.
That doesn't happen. I mean, and I'm okay with that as long as we know what's going on. It's we don't like being left in the dark when this is a service we're paying for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. Have you also been experiencing hassles with that internet, another internet? What are your views on the internet access in South Africa? Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Well, we're in the Eastern Cape, but your views on how do you cope with? Well, how does your internet provider communicate with you when there's a problem? That would be nice to know.
yeah, from anywhere in the world, really.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our current frustrating issue. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe, like, comment, share. Thanks for your support. Thank you. Bye bye.